Mode 4 just makes this thing like crazy. There we go, guys. We got it running. All right, guys, we're back and we got the final parts for the Super 73 build. So now it's just go time. Now we just got to put it together. We got the Enclosure from Motor Electric Racing. So let's check it out real quick. I kind of already unboxed it, but I know you guys are going to want to check it out and see my opinion on how it came in. All right, and here it is in the box. It does come very, very nicely bubble wrapped. It comes with tons of protection so it doesn't get scraped up or anything, but I obviously told you I just unboxed it. I checked it out a lot before I started making this video, and I am very, very happy with it. I would say it's not 100% perfect. There are a little bit of blemishes here and there, but I mean, you got to understand, you know, things get shipped. They're coloring these whatever color that you want. If you order it from the website, you can get red, purple, green, doesn't matter. And I don't think it came out bad at all, and I'm really picky on stuff like this. So with this side, you can see how reflective it is. I want to hold it, make sure it doesn't fall, because that would be the last thing I want. Super, super nice. I mean, yeah, like, you know, it has some orange peel in the paint, but I mean, this is a custom job, and I really think they did it, and they knocked it out of the park with this thing. I'm very happy with it. Now, if you look on the inside, you can see that they use some type of glue, maybe some silicone that holds some of these parts together, because they have the mesh on this side. And pretty much it comes bolted up, so we need to take this apart, and we need to see how it fits in the Super 73, because I have no idea how this goes in. I've seen some people send me some pictures, so let's get started on that and see if we can get it in, and I'll show you exactly what I did. I highly recommend a good set of Allens, because you are going to have a lot of Allens that you need to bolt this enclosure to. So I recommend the Park tools, but I mean, you can use whatever you have in your tool set. All right, so we got our panels taken apart. This is going to be the panel that's going to go on the right side of the bike. So this panel right here without the mesh will go on not this side, but the opposite side where you have the crank. I figured that it was best to just slide it completely straight down on the Super 73. And the way I messed up the first time is this needs to go over. There's a little, if you have a Super 73 RX, go into your garage if you're going to do this thing, and you'll see a little bolt. It's going to be on the opposite side. I'll see if I can show that to you if it's kind of light. But see this little, there's a little bracket right here. This panel goes on the opposite side of that bracket. At first I had it on this side. But see, once you start getting it, these little holes, they line up with this. And then these holes right here, if you can see them, they are going to line up to the top. And just like that, it snaps into place. Perfect fit. They did a fantastic job. Look, all these holes line up. All these holes line up. And honestly, I'll tell you right now, this thing wouldn't even go anywhere right now. Like maybe when you have the battery, because it's pretty heavy. But it's not going to go anywhere once you have it in. So this panel's in. If you guys want to know how thick it kind of sticks out from the bike, it does give it a little bit of extra bulkiness. But one panel down, and it is not scratched. I didn't scratch it at all. It's just a little dirty from touching it. But we're on our way. All right, next thing you want to do is there's a little envelope, a little tiny envelope in this package that they give you along with the sticker from the company. These are the screws that you're going to need, because there's 8 holes on the bike and there's 8 screws in total. And these are what you need to bolt the panel that we just put onto the bike. Don't forget the washers. All right, so here's your bolts. Got 2 here, got 2 here, you got 2 up in here, and then you have 2 in the rear. So let's get these snug down. All right, so one issue that you might run into, you'll notice that I wasn't even paying attention, but these 2 holes are taken up. So this is technically the second hole that you're supposed to use, but I can't use it because if you come to this other side, you'll see that this is how the splash guard is in place with these 2 bolts. Now, possibly you could probably run this like all the way through and then come out the side with the bolt, or you can run this with a longer bolt and go all the way through. That'd probably maybe work, and then you have a nut on this side. But just keep in mind, honestly, you probably don't need it. I think you're going to be perfectly fine with 7 bolts, so let's just continue with the build. All right, so if you guys want to know how this battery now goes in, we can test fit it. I'm very curious to see how it's going to fit. The videos that I've seen, the pictures I've seen, shows it right here because there's a little strapping point right here. I guess this battery is going to get sandwiched with both plates because it's so thick. and I heard it's really hard to fit in here anyways. But anyways, it's just gonna use one little Velcro strap in the back. So I'm assuming it's gonna sit this way. Let's see if we get this battery in here. Very tough fit. That's gonna be a problem. I can't get it pushed very far back. So let me mess with this thing and see what we can do. All right, so I have not got the battery in the bike yet, but I wanted to try to test fit it and hold it with something. So it does come with this strap, and this strap is what goes on the back side of this support. It's a little enclosure, but it is a thin strap. I have Envision straps. I highly recommend these. I've had these from my Onyx RCR, and they're just a perfect fit to go through here. So I'm gonna use these personally, but you should be perfectly fine with the one that it comes with. But if you want something a little bit more secure, more thicker, then get the Envision 3-inch straps. I think it's about 20 inches that you need. All right, so scratch that. 20 inches is way too long for what you need for a strap. I'm trying to figure out how I want to route this so I can get this working. All right, guys, as you can tell, I've been having a difficult time over here, and it's getting nighttime. And one thing I did want to show you that we're gonna have the Dremel that I'm probably gonna do off camera, but let me bring you in here really quick and show you. And that is that these holes that come on the controller, they don't completely give you enough room to put the bolt through. This little corner, the top corner of this controller, I'm gonna grind that down and Dremel it, so when it fits up in here, it'll give more of a flatter clearance, and it will allow this controller to slide more upwards. But I'm gonna probably get to that later tonight, just because I got some stuff going on right now, but yeah. All right, guys, I'm wrapping up for tonight. Yeah, I don't know where we're at. I can't get both of those parts in there. I'm having a hard time really getting that in. There's a bunch of wires that come down from the top tube in the very corner, and I feel like that's messing up the battery being able to slide all the way back. But I'm gonna look up some more stuff online so I can help you guys out and figure it out for myself. So let's go to the next day. All right, guys, I'm back. It's the next day. We got a lot more progress. I worked on it a little bit. I took an hour break, came back to it, and I actually got everything fitted. So I wanna show you how to do that now. All right, so as you can see, we got the battery and the controller mocked up. I was confused on exactly how everything went in here. So I thought the battery went in first. The battery does not go in first. The controller goes in first. But the only way to fit this controller in here, if I can get you in here, hopefully the light's kind of showing, you'll see that there's a screw right here with a little nut. Well, you have to Dremel this top piece right here on the side of the controller. I showed it in the last part. And basically, I just grinded it out because if you can see on this side, there's a huge point right here. You basically have to just grind this flat on that side if you can see. Basically what it does is it pushes the controller up as high as you can get it so you can get these bolts through because they're barely coming through. And then mount the controller. You don't technically have to fully mount it. You don't need to cinch it down or anything like that. You just need to kind of get it in place so then you can try to get the battery in. And to get the battery in, I thought the battery went in downwards first and then you pushed it towards the top. It doesn't go like that. You actually take this battery, and I'm not going to try it again because of the pain in the ass. Take this battery and push it upwards. So have the battery out here. You put this part in first and push it against these cables. That's exactly how I did it. And then as you're pushing it upwards, basically got to get it over this ridge. Once you get it over this ridge and it pops in, you are good to go. A thing that worked for me is I kind of took these garments out, and this cable obviously was way down here. I actually got some slack on it. So I pushed this cable as much as I could up. So this cable was way out here, which kind of basically pushed it out of the way so it wasn't, you know, blocking my space from putting this battery in. I also, something I didn't want to do, but I had to cut these. I barely cut them, so if I do want to put them back, if I ever go back to stock, but there's one that sits right here, and then there's one that sits right here. This was just causing too much of a problem trying to get this battery in here, because if you really come in here and I show you, it's just the casing of the battery, but you'll see that it's pretty bent right on this top corner because it's such a tight space. But good news is we got it in. Nothing's fully bolted yet because I want to make sure that it powers on and everything like that. So I got to start doing the wires. That's what we're going to do in this video. We need to basically get this zip tied, however I'm going to run it. I was thinking about changing my setup and running it like this. Still don't know if I want to run it from the outside, because you'll see how close that cable is to that rotor. And I know we can zip tie it like right here to this frame and it will keep it away, but I don't know. I still haven't figured exactly how I want to run it. It looks cleaner on the inside, but it's also safer to run on the outside. I pretty much feel like we just need to get these phase wires done. Once we get these phase wires put on here, which go to this controller, they're color matched, so that's pretty easy to do. We need to take this whole plastic piece off and basically start connecting all these plug and play cables that go to that. And then all the rest of these cables are gonna run to the display that we need to put up. So we need to get rid of a lot of this stuff off the handlebars. We need to put the throttle on. And I think that's what we're gonna get in the video. And then there's another piece to this. I believe it's this side, because I think this is the charging side. This is the power side. So I think there's an extra cable for this that gives you a positive and negative wire. And that's what's gonna go to the controller. But I think what we're gonna do first, after we get all this wire done, we're gonna do the positive and negative off of the controller with the cable. And then this is gonna be the last thing that we hook up. And I think that's how I'm gonna do it. Hopefully nothing sparks, nothing crazy happens. But yeah, so that's gonna be where we're at on the video, and I'm gonna get started on it. Like I said, it should be plug and play, so I'm not gonna 100% show exactly how I do it, but if I run into any issues, I will let you know. All right, so I know I've been back and forth about putting this motor in the front or the back. I decided to do the back. I don't think this is gonna be the permanent solution. I'm not sure. If it runs fine and it's out of the way, then whatever. I zip tied this one really quick. There's another zip tie point right here, and there's also another one right down here. The only reason I haven't done the last two is because I'm trying to do these cables. And if you look at the controller, if I can get down here low enough, you'll see they're color coded. So red is power. You got yellow matches the yellow cable, blue matches blue, green matches green, and then you got the black one back here for the ground. Now in the kit for the charger, it was in my charger box, but this is what's gonna go connected to the battery. And the other side of this cable, this is what's gonna go to the side post. So I'm gonna hook up these side posts now, but I am not going to hook it up to the battery until the very final step. But yeah, so these are gonna go, I'm gonna do this now and then start connecting all these, and then we're gonna move up to the handlebars and get all that stuff done. And this is what the controller is gonna look like after you hooked up everything. Just make sure you do ground to ground, power to power on the controller, because you will mess something up if you do not hook that up properly. This other cable that's right here is going to your charging port, which is over there sitting on the ground. And right now you're going to see that you get a cable like this, has a bunch of colors on the end of it. This main one is going to connect right to the controller right here. So we're gonna plug this in, and then I'm gonna route some of these cables probably somewhere up here. I'm not sure. It's gonna be a mess up here, but I just kind of want to get it running and start hooking up all the display stuff. We got to take all this stuff off right now. I decided to take the 4 screws off of the front of the RX for that little face shield, because it gives us better access to all these wires in here. Now, that cable that I just told you connect is all color coded. So if you go here, you see this one goes to the brakes. This red one went to the stock red cable. We're gonna take this stock red cable that's coming off of the controller from the stock RX. This cable is going to go inside the frame down here, because we're going to hook up the other brakes to it, because I want to try to get the stock lights and all that stuff working with the stock battery, and you have to have brakes connected to it for it to at least turn on. If you don't want to do it, then just hide these away, tuck them behind this display. You don't need them. But anyway, so we're going to take this red one is going to go here. Then we're gonna disconnect this one, which is right here. This is also red. The other red one's gonna go into here. And then you're gonna have a green and yellow one. And those are gonna go to your, one's gonna go to your throttle up here, and the other one's gonna go to your display. And then after that, we can hook up the main power source, and this thing should hopefully be running. And then we could just button up a bunch of other stuff. Also, you can hook up this alarm system if you wanna hook up the alarm system. You don't have to. It basically plugs into these 2 red connectors, and then I'm gonna probably hook mine up. And then if you notice, I was thinking about trying to put it on this last bolt down here. I was thinking about just literally just sitting it right there, because it has a little hole right here. But that's up to you if you want to put the alarm system on. I'm hoping the system turns on without this being on. I think it should. But if it doesn't, we'll have to hook it up. But let's get installing the rest of this stuff. I'll let you know when I got all the cables connected. Then I'm gonna start on the throttle. All right, we got the old grip off. It's 2 little Allen screws on both sides of it that have a little locking plates on the side of the grip. You don't have to get an air compressor to pull the grip off. Super easy, it took me like 5 seconds to do. And then this new one is gonna slide on here just like this. It is a little bit shorter than the stock one, so what we can do is move this stuff over. I'm not 100% sure how this comes off. Maybe there's a bolt underneath that I need to find out for the stock throttle, because we're not gonna have that at all anymore. Hopefully it's not attached to the brake lever, which I don't think it is. Anyways, let's get this, and then we might slide this over a little bit, and then we need to get the display here, and we might put the button layout right here, or we might put it on this side, but I think it's gonna go on this side because there's more room. All right, guys. I know I say that a lot, but so check this out. So we have got the throttle installed. It is a quarter throttle, so it's pretty short. So you want to be careful on that if you're not used to having throttles like this, if you buy this kit, because a thumb throttle is way, way different. I haven't put anything together yet. This is kind of how the cables went. I believe this was the green one for the display. I haven't even mounted the display up yet because I don't even know which way the display goes. There's 2 ways that this display can go, and if it's upside down, I don't want to bolt it yet. This, I think we're gonna put it right here on this side. I would love to have it on this side, but I think we're gonna be using this one to turn the stock power on so we can get the stock lights, I believe. I'm not 100% sure yet. And the reason why I moved it out here is because we have one more cable to hook up, which is this one, and then obviously this one's to charge it. The battery is not charged whatsoever. I think it came at like 72 volts or 74 volts. So it has some power in it, just not a lot. It's enough to kind of test it out, go down the street. And I routed all my cables through this corner right here. I put the stock brakes, the brake cable things in here. So you can see these red pieces in here, if I can grab them for you and show you. These things right here, if you want to use the stock battery with the stock lights and everything, the stock controller has to detect brakes. So what I'm gonna do is get the stock brakes that, I'm sorry, not the stock brake. I'm gonna get the brakes that came with this kit and plug them into here, so then we can hopefully use that. This kit that comes with the bike, they plug directly into the stock brake, so you don't have to worry about that. All these cables should be covered up once we get some wire loom on here and all that stuff. But for the most part, I moved the bike out here so I can connect this just in case something bad happens, the battery's bad or whatever, it catches on fire. Do not want it inside my house. So let me get started on that, and want to take it down the street and see how it does. It should be done after this, other than buttoning up some stuff and zip tying stuff and cleaning it all up. Push that in there, get all those wires out of the way. All right, guys, so I did get it to turn on, and I can tell you right now that the display is upside down, and I'll show you later when I move this exactly how you need to put it. So the wires, actually, I'll tell you right now, the wires that come out of the display do not come from the top. They come from the bottom, so then you'll know your display is set up right if you don't connect it off of the bike to see if it works just before you bolt it up and everything like that. Everything seemed like it works, but it said that the hall sensor, there was an issue. Okay, it would have helped if I would have connected the main wires together, and I forgot, because there's 2 of them. 2 of them come out of the bike, they're both the same length, and it doesn't tell you which one's which. I try to go off the color coding of it, and hopefully it doesn't mess anything up, but I do not know what this other one goes to. So hopefully this is right. This looks like the main one that has a big connection, so that's what I connected it to. And I guess we'll find out when we turn the bike on if it gives us any error. I guess I gotta hold this longer. There we go, MB power, and there's no errors. There we go, guys, we got it running. This is on mode number 1. I don't want to be crazy, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it down the street real quick and see how it is. I think it's working pretty damn good. Woohoo! All right, guys, you are now in my helmet cam, and we were at 39% battery. We're on assist 1. This isn't gonna be a full riding video, but I did want to take you guys around and show you that it is working and nothing is closed up or put together. I want to clean some stuff up. I want to hook up the other brakes in here and figure out how that's gonna work. I got to put the front back on. Since I had to flip the display because I had it backwards the first time, the way the cables are ran, this is pretty short of a cable. Excuse me, it's short of a cable. I don't know, I feel like maybe I can move this one. Maybe this cable's longer and I can move this display over here and figure out how to get rid of this because we do not need this anymore. Unless you need it for the stock battery, for all the stuff, I don't know. But I think this is gonna have to sit over on this side. But let's get on the road. I'm just gonna go up and down the street really quick. This is a System 1. 13 kilometers per hour. And if we go up, so I would say mode 2 right away feels like the stock RX feel, but with its limited top speed. Number 3 just kills the RX. And I'm not on it fully. Okay, now I'm fully on it. 45 kilometers per hour in that mode. Mode 4 just makes this thing like crazy. We hit like 64 or something like that. I don't know. The reason why I'm not like slamming on it too hard is because I don't have the torque plates on. And once I get the torque plates on, then it will be a lot better, but till then. So I'm gonna leave it at that because I'm real sketched out and I'm checking on making sure all the bolts are tight and all that stuff. So I appreciate you guys watching another video, and this project is finally done. So I'm gonna button some stuff up. Like I said, I'll do that on my own time, and we'll see you in the next video when I probably ride it and review it and possibly take it to work because I got work tomorrow. So maybe this will be the bike I take. We'll get everything charged up, make sure everything's good, and it should be way more powerful since we're only on 34%, and that's fast. I will say I do want to see it go a little bit faster, but you know, it is what it is until we finally dial it in, and there's an app for it, so you can turn up the controller if you really want to. But I want to see this thing in traffic. I want to ride this thing like I do my Sur-Ron in traffic, be able to pass people, and have one of my buddies ride with me or something. I'll let him ride the Sur-Ron or something as long as he's careful, and I'll ride this thing, and hopefully we can get pretty far distances. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.